30 seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, yo? Welcome back to another video. It's Anish. I'm joined with DJ, and the Rockets have finally won another game. They break a 15-game losing streak by beating the Chicago Bulls 118-113. Just an absolutely fun game to watch. And this is what Silas said about the win. And as you all know, there was reports of his future with the Rockets being very uncertain. And this is what he said when asked if he needed this win to prove to the outside there is a plan. He says, I don't need like approval. I believe in what I do. I think I'm good at it. The players respond when I challenge them or coach them. Whether we won or lost tonight, I'm the same coach. And he just goes to show you that if Silas coaches like this every single game, we light a fire under Silas, then he'll light a fire under the players. He was very passionate tonight. This is like a legacy game for Coach Silas almost. But yeah, this was a great game for the Rockets and all. Very enjoyable to watch. And when Daniel House, he was easily the player of the game. This game, he was a plus 18, the highest plus minus on the team. And he was asked what mindset he had coming into the game. He just said have fun. We need to have fun, and tonight was a great example, and we had fun. So he said we fully understood that we were trying to light the fuse. You got to start somewhere, and the head coach is doing a great job dealing with us and working through the kinks. We got the win today. We're going to take this and build on it. And so yeah, I think this was a very good note. I mean, the Bulls are 12-7, and they're a pretty good team in their own right too. So the fact that we didn't just beat just any team, but the Chicago Bulls, who are pretty good this season, just says a lot about this team's resilience and goes to show we can try to see if this team can try to stack them up now, and we can win some games and see if we because the next few games that we have are against teams that are not so great, like the Hornets, the Thunder, the Thunder again, the Magic, and the Pelicans. So we'll see about that. But DJ, I rambled on too much. I'm so happy. But who are your players of the game, or some things that stood out to you?
Man, where do I even start? Okay, so I never got to watch this full game. I only watched from the second quarter and all. But from what I've really seen, Jalen Green actually, before he did get injured sadly in the first quarter, was having a really, really good game. He had 11 points, was 4 for 5 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And in just the first quarter, he looked like he was going for a career game. But and I don't really know what to say. This is like that Thanos meme, a soul for a soul, because when Kevin Porter Jr. comes back from injury, Jalen Green now gets injured. But nonetheless, it was a minor injury, and it looks like he should be fine, maybe just day-to-day. But, speaking of Kevin Porter Jr., had a really solid outing in his first game back after injury, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, was 5 for 13 from the field and 2 for 4 from 3, had some big-time, crossovers, driving kickouts in the paint, was able to, he's a point guard. He's really, really fitting back into that mold of ball handling duties, and his turnovers are even down, sort of. So, overall, really, really solid game. We definitely miss Kevin Porter Jr. And, now since Josh Christopher is in the G League, him and DJ Augustine have the primary ball handling roles, and it showcased that when you have spacing and not a double big lineup, that it works out. And with that saying, the best part about this game, in my opinion, and no hate to Daniel Tice, but he played nothing. He did not play this game. He wasn't injured. He wasn't sick or anything. He was on the bench. He was ready to play. Coach Silas just decided not to play him and decided to keep only Christian Wood and Alperen Sengun as our 5 this game, which I think I'm so happy. I'm so happy that Silas finally understands that in an offense in the modern NBA, you need spacing, you need shooters, and then you need one big man who can just grab boards, play defense, and do a little bit of everything. And that's exactly what Christian Wood and Alperen Sengun do. So we played a lot of Jayshawn Tate at the 4, a lot of KJ at the 4, and this was just a really solid outing from our young guys, and then our vets who are actually consistent, like Eric Gordon, like DJ Augustine. And yeah, very very solid game, like you said, against the Bulls, who are a really good team. And it's not even like the Bulls played a bad game per se; they played really well. Lonzo Ball actually had 17 points in the first half, but then in the second half, we were able to hold him to only 2 points. So I don't know what happened, what Coach Silas said in the locker room, but it really really worked because these guys came out and they had all the motivation and energy that they kept in the first half. They carried that on to the second half, was able to win the game. Lonzo had 19 points, Levine had 28 points, DeRozan had 17 points, Vooch had 14 points, and Caruso off the bench even had 15 points. And I believe he had like 13 of his points in the fourth quarter, and was as they were like trying to cut into the lead. But the Rockets were able to hold on. They were able to push the game. Caruso was draining threes. We were able to run in transition, really play in our pace. So, overall, just a really, really great game for the Rockets. And it really shows that, like, we don't need to have, like, a 30-point piece from, like, Jalen Green or Kevin Porter Jr. to win games. We can actually, like, play and win games just by having, like, solid shooting games and, really, and, like, solid defensive games, which is exactly what we did tonight. I'm really happy about this win. And, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just going on to like stat lines, I guess, to go into specific like the contributions of each guy. Sengun in just 16 minutes, 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 4-7 overall, 2 of 3 from deep. And he joined some elite company, obviously, that like the sample size for 3-point shooting might not be as high for Sengun, but players on the season to average 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 48% from the field, 40% from 3 are Jokic, Towns, and Sengun in 18.6 minutes per game. So Sengun was like starting to look like one of a kind, and as I mentioned earlier, Daniel House had a great game as well. He had he had 18 points. He was 4 for 4 from 3, 6 of 7 from the field, and he was like 4 rebounds, 1 steal. And Christian Wood, he had a calm, cool double tonight, and 6 assists from Christian Wood. So that's pretty rare from him, but that's pretty great to see. So overall, this team, I think the moral of the game is that this team played really good team basketball, and it's just really like a great sight to see. And let's talk about some other players that stood out. Garrison Matthews, who we called up from the G League, has been doing pretty well for us. And so, do you want to talk more about his contribution so far and whether he has a chance to be like a consistent spot in a rotation in the future?
Yeah, so from what I've seen from Garrison Matthews, I actually really like the way he plays. One thing's for certain, he's a shooter and he's trigger happy. He's not shy. He will let it fly if he has even a little bit of space. Sometimes it's not the best shot, but at least he's shooting. I feel like a lot of players on our team, especially Armani Brooks, like earlier in the season, he was very kind of cautious in the type of 3-point shootings he was taking, which I guess is good. He's trying to look for the best shot, but at the same time, it's like, man, just shoot some threes because you're an amazing shooter. A few of them will drop. You'll become more confident. You'll hit them. So both him and Armani Brooks had solid shooting games. Garrison Matthews was 4 for 6 from the field and 2 for 4 from 3. Armani Brooks was 3 for 6 from the 3-point line as well. But the thing I really like about Garrison Matthews is his defense. Now he's not like the best defender. He's not best physically gifted and with a crazy wingspan, crazy agility. But he plays a lot of heart. He puts everything he has when he plays, and he likes to draw charges. And I saw a stat that said Garrison Matthews is actually 10th in the league in total charges drawn in just his 5 games. Every other player that's on that top 10 list has played above 16 games except for rookie Austin Reeves on the Los Angeles Lakers. And it really shows guys like Matthews and Reeves, you don't have to be an amazing defender, but if you play with a lot of energy and a lot of effort, you can't teach that. You just have to play with it. And Garrison Matthews also had some big time buckets, like that 3 in the corner. And he's a good player. He did start a lot of the games with the Washington Wizards last year, so I had no issues about him and being able to play at the NBA pace. I'm happy, and I feel like he is solidly taking our backup 3 minutes over guys like Daniel House and David Nwaba. But speaking of Daniel House, man, what a game from him. Came off the bench and in just 16 and a half minutes had 18 points, 4 rebounds, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 1 assist, shot 6 for 7 from the field and 4 for 4 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, was a +9. And I just want to go on record and say I am sorry to Daniel House for all the slander that me and Rocket's Twitter and just everyone has said to him. He finally showed up and had a really, really solid outing. He played his game. He wasn't doing what he usually does and just a crazy amount of dribbling, step back threes and all that, thinking he's Jason Tatum. He wasn't doing that. He was getting open shots in the corner. His shots were flying, and he wasn't forcing anything, which I really like from him. If he can play like this more often, I am not opposed to having him get some rotational minutes. It's just that when he doesn't play like this, and he's also a liability on the defensive end, that's why a lot of Rockets people were hating on him. But a really, really solid performance. He played so well that Silas decided to keep him in for the closing lineup, which that made me happy. That made me happy because it shows Silas is willing to have changes in his lineups. He's not just set on a specific lineup and you guys will start and close my game. He's okay, whoever is feeling it, you can stay in the game. Whoever's not feeling it, maybe next game you get more minutes. But for in this game, House was feeling it, Garrison Matthews was feeling it. Christian Wood, Eric Gordon, Kemp Porter, that was the closing lineup because, Garrison Matthews and Daniel House were both having really solid games. And yeah, there's really not really much more you can say. The effort was there on both sides of the ball. We were running in transition. We just had a lot of chemistry there. And I'm telling you, this win means so much for them. They clearly, these are professionals. They're pros. They do not like losing. No one likes losing. The reason they made it to the league is because they play so hard, so competitively, because they hate losing. So, them being on a 15-game losing streak, yes, it was very demoralizing. But at the same time, I think it really, really brought out a lot of passion and a lot of effort in their game, as shown by tonight. So, a really solid game. And like Anish mentioned here, a lot of easy games coming up, like the Hornets, like the Thunder, like the Magic, like the Pelicans. So, we could literally go on a 6-game win streak. Just saying, because these are all pretty evenly matched team. And if we continue this, the sky's the limit. Chemistry is there. It's going to be smiles all over the place. And that's the best thing you can hope for with the rebuilding team. Just making sure that everyone's happy, everyone's in the process, they have their mind in the right place. So again, a really, really solid win. So happy that the Rockets finally got their 2nd win. We're going to shoot for our 3rd win Saturday against the Charlotte Hornets. And yeah, that's all from me.
Yeah, as far as lineups go, Silas said that it's going to be a per game basis. So based on the opponents, he'll adjust the the lineup. So it shows that there might not be so much consistency there, perhaps. But I think the good part about this win, other than the fact that it's going to pick up our morale, is that all our guys are starting to ooze a lot of confidence. In which Kevin Porter Jr. Says that, honestly, to keep it short, I feel like nobody can guard me. I'm that good, and I'm just going to continue to get better at it. I feel like it's disrespectful if you think he can guard me. And obviously, Jalen Green is playing a lot more confidently. He was on pace to have one of his best games this season. So I think Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., and now Daniel House, who was having a string of very bad games, had an amazing game today. And just the whole team all around is feeling good. The vibes are good. So now we'll see how that affects our gameplay in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Let us know your thoughts on the win, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.